Alright guys, I know we kind of already talked this to death last night on my kind of emergency last minute live stream we did, but there is a very unique bond I think that the US and Japan now has, especially after the events this weekend, given the fact that 2 years ago Japan lost their former prime minister, longest prime minister they ever had, Shinzo Abe, to a lone lunatic who just decided to take him out. And we were really close to that this weekend as well. You don't have to like Trump to understand the massive implications this has for our country as a nation, as a people. Just absolutely shocked pretty much everybody. Whether you celebrated it or you were, horrified by it, there was a lot of visceral reactions to it. And so, of course, the Japanese people, I put this post out there talking about Shinzo Abe, and the Japanese have been very humble and very thankful and appreciative that Trump survived, and very, grateful for people mourning the loss of Shinzo Abe in such a manner. So I think it's a very good time for people to come together and bond over some, common threads that we have as humans. Whether or not we all feel the same about individual people is a whole nother story that we're not going to get into. But this connection between the West and Japan has a lot of different implications when it comes to culture and politics and entertainment and video games. And we've talked a lot about Assassin's Creed Shadows and the attempt by Westerners to try to essentially colonize the history of Japan, mainly with this character Yasuke, who it's been basically exposed to this point that the entire story was made up. The fact is, the only thing we know is that the character, the person that was named Yasuke by Nobunaga, he was real. Whoever he was, where he came from, what his significance was, is between, slim and none when it comes to his actual relevance to the people of Japan and their heritage. And so, of course, we have had a lot of coverage of this. I talked a lot about the fact that Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft decided that they were going to use a fake sword from One Piece to try to pass off as, the actual weapon of Yasuke for an expo they were doing in Paris. And then, of course, you have here where an actual Japanese politician, Satoshi Hamada, came out saying, we need to bring this before the Japanese diet. We need to figure out what is going on, why this is being, passed off as some sort of historically based character, why they're representing Japanese people in such a negative light, why they're not respecting our culture and our history. And, this has caused a lot of backlash all across the world, not just from Westerners, but from Japan itself. I mean, Japan is a country very proud of its history and its culture, and so these people are unrelenting when it comes to pushing back against this nonsense and this revisionist history that's being, pushed on their society. Well, now the story gets even crazier, because we've talked about this before, and I'll play a little audio clip just to refresh your memory of this Wikipedia entry. This video about Wikipedia entries that were used to create Thomas Lockley's book, which is where the Yasuke character really began to take relevance. So we'll play a little bit of this audio here.
A lot of the stuff you see on Twitter, YouTube, and online articles actually comes from Wikipedia, but a lot of that information was wrong. It all goes back to October 22, 2012. Someone added a sentence to Wikipedia that said, when Nobunaga was convinced that this person really had dark skin, he valued him highly, named him Yasuke, and kept him close. This sentence wasn't true and caused a lot of confusion. Then on June 14, 2015, someone changed the Wikipedia article again. It now said he was officially made a Bushido warrior and kept close. This change made people think that Yasuke had become a samurai, and that's how the legend of Yasuke, the Black Samurai, was born. The next day, on June 15, another line was added to the Wikipedia article. It said Nobunaga liked Yasuke so much that he intended to make him a lord in the future. In just one day, Yasuke had been promoted to a future lord, but this was completely false. So, from 2012 to 2024...
I think that's enough of the video. Sorry for that alert that popped up, guys. I'm using Streamlabs to record my videos, so when a new subscriber comes in, that just happens sometimes. So go back and watch the whole video from this guy Nikaido. You'll have to watch it with subtitles. I don't believe his original video is translated, but the person that did the interpreting here very much has it pretty close to the translation as far as what the subtitles, the closed caption said. So again, Wikipedia entries that were deceptively edited to fit a narrative that were then used by Thomas Lockley in his book were essentially created to craft this narrative, this story around this person, Yasuke, who this entire genre of fan fiction has just come escalating out of. It's just been like, oh my god, Yasuke the Black Samurai. And it's fine. If you want to have a character like a Yasuke and make an anime about him, go for it. As long as you accept the fact that this has nothing to do with the actual history of Japan or this person. So now we're seeing Thomas Lockley on the run. The guy that wrote the book that a lot of this has come from, he has deleted his Facebook page, and Grum says the Japanese have been hammering the fact checks on Thomas Lockley, the historian widely cited by other papers, book, and official sources for the proof that Yasuke was a samurai. They say he is a fraud and have been finding out he's been editing Wikipedia under an alias Totori Tom to promote his books and papers. And this is something that various people have verified. So here you see it's this guy, Katsunori Yanagi, says it was discovered that Thomas Lockley, associate professor of law at Nihon University, fabricated a story on Wikipedia that Yasuke was a samurai. Of course, there's a video here. Unfortunately, there's not a link to it, but we can probably find that later on. And then you can see this one here, content not available. Tom Totori related. This is on the Assassin's Creed Shadow Notes. I believe it's got to be from Wikipedia. So it says, July 6th, 2012. Editing of Yasuke by the account Totori Tom begins. Yasuke was not edited until September 11th, 2015. September 12th, 2015, the reference was changed to a paper by Thomas Lockley published in 2016. This was revised many times on this day. Main revisions, revision 1 comparison, 2 comparison, 3 comparison. February 2016, Thomas Lockley has published a paper on Yasuke, who served Oda Nobunaga, entitled The Story of Yasuke, Nobunaga's African Retainer, in the 91st volume of the Sakura Bunranso. Hopefully I pronounced that somewhat correctly. January 25th, 2017, Nobunaga and Yasuke, the Black Samurai who survived the Hanaji Temple, is now on sale. February 3rd, 2017, the reference was changed by Totori Tom from the article published in the Sakura Bunranso, I'm messing that up so bad, to Nobunaga and Yasuke, the Black Samurai who survived the Hanaji Temple. October 31st, 2018, Totori Tom added a link to Thomas Lockley's page. November 8th, 2018, Thomas Lockley's page was deleted from Wikipedia as it was deemed unremarkable. Totori Tom also participated in the discussion at the time. January 25th, 2019, Totori Tom introduces the release of the book African Samurai, The True Story of Yasuke, a legendary black warrior in feudal Japan, which is essential to telling the Yasuke legend to this day. So basically what you have here is you have Thomas Lockley, who was using his influence, his ability to edit things on Wikipedia to try to promote the sale of his book, which he had created a false narrative with off of, again, heavily edited Wikipedia entries. And this has been sold as essentially the unknown history, or basically filling in the blanks of this Yasuke character for a decade now, it seems like, almost. Grum says, historian Thomas Lockley, that was cited by so many official sources on Yasuke, makes a wild claim that blames the Japanese for slavery in his book, and the Japanese are furious. Not even kidding. So you get into this here. The translation here from this account here on Twitter says, in Thomas Lockley's book, the Jesuits did not enslave black people. After Nobunaga appointed the black man Yasuke, enslaving black people became popular in Japan. Read that back a second, guys. After Nobunaga appointed the black man Yasuke, enslaving black people became popular in Japan. But this is bad. Seriously, it's really bad. Aren't they just blaming black people for the culture in which white people enslave black people? No, this is seriously crazy. What's worse is that things are written in the English version that aren't written in the Japanese version. This is pretty bad, isn't it? In the comment section of the video about the Assassin's Creed Shadows controversy, there were several people overseas who said that the Japanese people have been the most racist towards black people in history, and I suspect that this book is the cause of it. So the Japanese are starting to wake up to the way that they are perceived by a lot of the Western world, at least in the stereotypical sense where, again, unfortunately, we've seen examples where like Disney tried to edit out people that were darker skinned in movie posters when they released a movie in China. I don't know about this being a thing in Japan. I reckon it could be. But the reality is, I do not believe that this is a necessarily entirely societally based prejudice that Japanese people alone share. So the idea that you're trying to pass off black people as adopting slavery after Yasuke got there, I mean, this is incredibly heinous shit. Like, if there's any validity to this, I'm shocked at how this guy actually was able to influence so much of the culture and the narrative around the Yasuke character up to this point and get away with it just so he could sell more copies of his book. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. A lot to unpack in this one. Let me know what you think about all this. I'll be live streaming tonight. Hope to see you guys there, and I will talk to you later. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.